What is up, YouTube? Welcome to another video. Today we're going to be breaking down exactly how to draw a dagger tattoo. So if you are new for tattooing and learning how to draw, this is another video for you. So make sure you like and subscribe down below, and let's get into the drawing. Okay, so let's get into drawing a dagger. As always, I start out with red, and what I'm going to do is just get my shapes for everything. So I know that this is going to be the middle, right like this. And before I get started, and because this is a dagger, everything I do on this side is going to be exactly the same on this side. So what I want to do is go through here and use my canvas, drawing guide right here, go to your drawing guide symmetry, make sure you can see that middle line and hit done. So what that's going to do is everything I draw on this side is going to be done on this side. So it'll be perfect on each side. So whenever I go through with my mapping, I only really have to worry about one side, which makes everything a whole lot easier. So now we could go through and do our shapes, which is going to be pretty much exactly how I would with everything else. How far down we want that to be, we got to think about the top part. You can see how easy it is to get the shape of a dagger using this tool. Makes it so much easier and a lot more fun to play with. So now that we have this mapped out, we could go through and mess around with how we want our full design to look like. Starting out light and just building up through time, having our darker areas. Now we'll add something right here. Yeah, that looks cool. And if you mess up something, you can just erase it very easily and then just go back through. That's what this stage is for, kind of getting everything mapped out and correct before jumping on, because if you have to erase something on your later stages, you're going to be in trouble because you already did all this time and work. You can see that this looks a little bit better. It's not so far out to where it looks awkward. And just working on having everything look correct. Then going on to this, I think I'm going to add a little area in the middle, right like that. Right like that. Cool, so now we have the basics of this mapped out. Now we could go in with our blue. After we turn the opacity down. And this one we're going to have everything just about as perfect as we can before going on to our final layer. So I could see here that I want this side to come out a little bit further. Now I could go through here and map out where everything needs to go. I'm going to thicken up that blade right there a little bit and then have it come down to a point. Because I did most of my sketching on the first layer, I could go through here and be pretty confident where all of my lines need to be for this one. There's a ton of different ways that you could do traditional daggers. It kind of depends on just how you want to do them. You could do crazy designs, X marks in these. This is just a pretty simple design to show you guys exactly how to set everything up and to use the symmetry on Procreate. That's something I use all the time, and it's super, super important. So I definitely recommend you start incorporating that into your designs right away. Especially butterflies, other things to where it helps. Other things to where it helps a ton if you are drawing in this way, and everything needs to be perfect on each side, because you're never going to be able to eye it up and do it exactly how you need to. So now we could go on to a different layer. We could get rid of this red layer completely. Okay, now we're going to get our final pen. And before we do that, I think I'm going to add a little bit of an area to where it's going to be a skin rib, just to do something a little bit differently. So before we jump on to doing the final, I'm just going to add a little area right here to where it's cut into the skin. Right like that. So this is an assisted layer, so we go through here, turn the opacity down on this one to have it match everything else, and we're going to be using our black for our third and final layer. Make sure this one is assisted as well. We could go through here. And yes, there's going to be some areas because of this skin rip where we're going to have to go back and touch up a few areas, which is perfectly fine, no problem at all. And depending on if you're left-handed or right-handed, I'm sure you'll work on one side, but if you do something on this side, it'll be exactly the same. So whatever side you're most comfortable with, you could use. Okay, now that we have everything done with the symmetry, we could go into a different layer, and that's where I'm going to kind of touch up everything I need to with this one. So go through here. Could turn this assisted off, because if we try to erase this part with assisted on, what's going to happen is it's going to erase this side as well. So we can go through here, erase that. So now we could add some blood marks to this. Could add one right here. Right here. Right here. I don't want it to do too many, so that one works great. That's all I'll really need. Now we could erase all the background layers. This is going to be pretty much the setup for our final design. We could finally take off the drawing guide and add our line down the middle for our dagger. Awesome, so now we can get into color. So what we're going to do is merge down this one. That's going to make it one solid piece of line work. Use this as a reference and go on to a different layer. Get our shader out right like that. Now we can go through and pick everything we want to shade. And as you can see, this makes it a whole lot easier and way faster when it comes to drawing. If I was using pencil and paper, this would take forever. So that's why Procreate's a great tool, and if you're able to get one, I highly recommend that you do. It's just going to save you so much time when it comes to actually drawing and learning how to draw for tattoo designs. Pretty much everyone I know that's a tattoo artist, this is what they're using when it comes to drawing for their designs. Add that bronze color in here as well. This reference tool is awesome. You'll make sure that you're doing automatic. That makes it super easy. You could just highlight things and just go through super fast without having to worry too much about having to highlight everything yourself or going back and erasing what you've gone over. Let's make this little gem on top teal. And you can really do these colors however you want. There's no definite way of doing these, so whatever you think looks good, that's what you should use. Sometimes you might have to zoom in to get that little area without highlighting everything. Like that. And go back with our black. And this is how you draw a dagger the easiest way with the reference tool.